For the last 10 years, I've journaled just about every single day. And maybe you've seen the videos, but if you haven't, in the front cover, I write the 1% biggest, best ideas from 300 plus psychology books, lessons, coaches, masterminds. I put together my 5 favorite ideas from 10 years plus of journaling. And I want to share them with you in this video because they changed my life, and I know if you use them, I hope they can change yours in some small way. Big idea number 1. There is a massive difference between being in motion and taking action. This is some of the best advice if you find yourself procrastinating, or you feel stuck, or you're putting in a lot of effort, you're giving a ton, and your results don't seem to match up. Credit where credit is due, it comes from James Clear. When you're in motion, you're planning, strategizing, and learning. Those are all good things, but they don't produce a result. Action, on the other hand, is the type of behavior that will deliver outcome. More practically, here's what this looks like. Health. Motion is obsessively stressing over what the best diet is. Is it keto? Is it paleo? Is it raw vegan? Let me get in arguments with people online all about which one's better. But you get on the scale and you're like, dang, I don't feel any better and I don't look any better. Action, buying a gym membership, showing up. Throwing out all the foods you know you shouldn't be eating regardless of what diet you follow. School. Studying all night, planning to write this big paper, gathering all the materials. Action, writing 100 words on the paper. I know this personally, because in the early days of filming these videos, I would plan all the videos, I'd write 20 outlines, I would research what the best lighting and camera setup was and how to use gear. But I had to take a good hard look in the mirror and realize, did I actually film a video today? And if the answer was no, I was just in motion. Action is sitting down, hitting the red button, and recording. And at the end of 10 years, who's further ahead? The person who has 100 videos perfectly planned and scripted, or the one who's posted 100 videos that might not be perfect, but at least they did? A perfect story on this, I was on a coaching call with a woman who really wanted to start her first online business. So I asked her, okay, what's your process up until this point? Like, what are you doing? Oh, Clark, I'm studying a bunch. I get up at 3:30 a.m. and I study before my job for 8 hours. And I do that 5 days a week. Dang, okay, so you're studying and researching online business for 40 hours a week? I told you, I really want the thing. I'm driven, I'm motivated. Got it, and have you started the online business? Well, that's the thing. I just don't know what to do. So I'm researching for 8 hours a day and I'm getting further and I know more about it. It was obvious what the problem was. And from the outside looking in, you can probably realize it too. You'd be way further ahead if you put 40 hours into building a business than researching how to. And the good news is once you realize what's motion versus what's action, you can literally shortcut so much of the planning, the prepping, the researching, the perfectionism, and just go straight to what you want. You will be so much further ahead if you lean into action. So the question for this one, how can you spend more time in action, getting what you want, moving there, instead of just being in motion, the illusion of progress? Big idea number 2, effort is the universal currency of respect. It's common to feel like people don't give you the credit you deserve for the effort you're putting in. This could be getting in shape, a new relationship, starting a business, changing jobs. In 2010, when I started posting content like this, there was like a group of people who would have, entire group threads sending them my videos, tearing them down, saying how cringe it was. But I kept going, I kept posting videos. People have like a box that they've put you in, a set of parameters and identity for you that they've ascribed to you. I view Jessica this way. Mary is this kind of person. Even though you feel different about yourself and you truly believe it, and maybe you've even accepted that new part of you, they still haven't. But here's what happens. Eventually, people start to come around to accept that new version of you if you stick at it and you don't quit. It happened to me. That same group of people who was sending the group chats, some of them reached out and were like, hey, we see what you're doing. We didn't get it at first, but can we take you out to lunch and pick your brain? Like, I want to do what you're doing. The point is, if you keep putting in effort, even if people don't understand it, eventually they come around to respect it. Remember that effort is the universal currency of respect. Big idea number 3, this next point, it's about growth. It's also about cringe. I was hanging around a group of business owners and they're like, dude, I hate posting content online because I just cringe at myself. I wish I could go back and just scrub my whole channel because I cringe at those videos. That's not even how I talk anymore. And I've always said, specifically with content, that that's completely normal to just like cringe at your old videos because you've grown. In fact, something I firmly believe is that if you're not cringing, of the version of yourself from 12 months ago, you're not growing enough. The ego, your self-concept, your self-image, always thinks that it's arrived. That the current version of you right now watching this is not gonna change much in 10, 15 years from now. But remember how when you were like 18, 20 years old, you thought that to be true then? You're like, oh, I'm more mature for my age, or oh, other people, you know, they might change, but not me. I feel like I'm still gonna be this person in 20 years. But if you're like 30 now, like me, you look back on that 21-year-old, 18-year-old version of you and be like, oh, buddy, that's cute, buddy. You don't know what you're in for. The point is that you're always growing and you're gonna continue to grow. So don't waste energy or emotions self-attacking or judging the former version of you. In fact, have compassion for that version of you, and you can start to be thankful because it led you to the point of where you are now, and that this version of you ain't gonna be the real you in 10 years down the road if you keep the growth up. There's a great piece of advice on TikTok I saw. Don't kill the part of you that is cringe, kill the part of you that cringes. That's part of the secret to getting what you want, is asking for it, is putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation that's awkward, that you haven't done before. And then pretty soon you do it 2, 3, 4 times, you're no longer cringy. And flipping the feeling of cringe to a sign that you're evolving. Because remember, if you're not cringing at the version of yourself from 12 months ago, you ain't grown enough. Big idea number 4. This next point is all about the one thing, love it or hate it, we all need, use, and value. Let's talk about the moolah, baby. When you look at data, most aren't good with money. More than 56% of American households are paycheck to paycheck. The average American household spends $416 on average per year on lottery tickets. More than sporting events, movies, books, music combined. That same group, when surveyed, 40% of them can't even come up with $400 in the case of emergency. So why is money so hard? Why does it seem like there's not enough or we can't hold on to it? In my 20s, I was working, multiple minimum wage jobs, sometimes at the same time. It felt like I'd make $400 and then $400 would go right out. And so when I heard financial advice like save 10%, invest and compound, set yourself up for success in the future, it sounds easier said than done because I don't got any. I was not someone whose parents just let them have a credit card or gave them everything. I'm fortunate looking back at this that I had to work for every single piece of money that I got. At 14, I was, on payroll at an Ace Hardware store. I never was without a job. So I added it all up one day. I'm like, I'm still broke. What the heck? Why did I work all those jobs? It wasn't for fun. It wasn't for something to do. It was for money. And so I could get out of a bad spot, but I'm still in that same bad spot now. In other words, I had worked all those jobs and still netted out to zero. And that's when the whole concept of saving money, which sounded really negative, started to click for me. When you save money, you're not losing money. You're buying your freedom. I had viewed saving money as taking something away from me. 10%, save it. Well, that's money I can't use. Like, why would I take less money when I really need it now? See, it's not you make $1,000 and you take away 100 from you and you never get to see it again. It's you make $1,000 and you invest $100 into your future, into your freedom, so you don't have to work. Even just 10% of everything you make is yours to keep. So you have something to show for the 18 jobs that you had worked. Remember, you're not losing money. You're gaining your freedom. Big idea number 5. Problems are complex, solutions are simple. Problem, weight loss. Solution, eat less, exercise more. Problem, more money. Solution, stop spending it, start saving it, increase your income. Problem, getting in a relationship, keeping a relationship. Solution, work on yourself, heal your past, and become someone you would want to date. Pause there. I want you to notice something, okay, and be honest. Was there any part of you, when I was giving you the solutions to those examples, that wanted to resist it a little bit? Maybe, you're cracking some knuckles, getting ready to type out a little comment that wanted to argue against it. No, you don't understand because I've tried XYZ and ABC and it's not always that easy, Clark. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And that's despite all those solutions that I gave you being true. We're incapable of separating ourselves from the problem. We construct a big emotional narrative that has our past with it, that has everything we've tried, that has all our emotions wrapped up in our unique problem. In my metamorphic program, we have a phrase: ask questions, Don't tell stories. So the habit of successful people that you need to build. Step 1, catch yourself when you're in a story loop. A story about why something is a problem, a story about why you're stuck, a story about the past, whatever it is. And oftentimes they're justifications to stay where you are and not move forward. Step 2 is ask yourself, what is the actual question I want an answer to here? Try as hard as it is to remove all the personal narratives. I've often said on this channel, one of my favorite questions is what's the advice I'd give someone else in this exact same situation? The more buffer you can put between you being so close to your problems, the more you're objectively looking at the situation instead of your subjective feelings. And only now you can do step 3, which is to meditate, journal, surrender it up to your subconscious for guidance. Not every problem necessarily has to have an answer. You know, sometimes it's as simple as letting go of something that happened in the past that you can't let go of. And you realize you can't change no matter how much problem solving you try to have. Even that realization, ironically, by doing nothing, you're moving forward still. If you're someone who wants our help reinventing, going from the 1.0U to the 2.0U in under 10 weeks, I'll link down below where you can talk to one of our coaches for free. These are cool people, personally trained by me, not just like weirdos off the internet that you'll be talking to, and see if we can genuinely help you. You know, we'll ask you questions about where you are, where you want to be, what's holding you back, see if that's something we can help. Worst case scenario, you walk away with a game plan you can implement on your own. Best case scenario, we can tell you a little bit more about what we do and see if it's a fit. Spots do fill up though, and if there's no spots available, just come back another time, refresh it, check, because we're always opening more. Hopefully you got value out of these 5 lessons. What I'll do now is link up right here, a perfect follow-up video on the 5 things I wish I knew at 20. Click it, and I'll see you there.